of a person to do? Well, tonight, three skating champions who know and who exemplify skating's tradition of sportsmanship. They are all on tour in the Discover Card Stars on Ice show. Kristi Yamaguchi, Paul Wylie, and Scott Hamilton. Question for you first. You're all looking happy. You're not that tired, huh? This tour's been exhausting. You started around Christmas?
We're punchy, is what we are. Hey, where are we going?
We're going to talk more about the tour in a minute, but let me ask you, Scott, you first. What was your initial reaction to what happened to Nancy Kerrigan?
I was shocked. Nothing like this has ever happened before, and we were in Phoenix, and we got a reporter called me in my room and said, we need to get a reaction from you right away, and I said, well, what happened? And he said, well, Nancy Kerrigan has been struck by some assailant, and there's no real details, and I was completely shocked. So my first reaction was call Paul immediately, and Paul had already heard about it, and it kind of just went right through the tour, and we were all very much surprised that anything like this could happen, and it's been pretty difficult for us to kind of get an opinion on all of this. It's really been devastating.
Well, Paul Wylie, you skated with Nancy Kerrigan for 9 years. Were you angry when you heard this?
I wasn't angry. I was just confused. I wasn't really sure what had happened, and I was scared for Nancy, and I wanted her to be able to skate her best. Obviously, I wanted her, to be well again, and now that some time has passed since the attack, I spoke with her tonight. She sounds like she's doing very well. She's skating well. She's back on her feet, and so we're really happy about that.
Kristi Yamaguchi, you were her roommate during the '92 Olympics when you won the gold medal for America. What is your perception of the events that have happened?
Well, like everyone else, I was very shocked and, first scared for Nancy, hoping everything was going to be all right, that she'd be able to go on and skate. And right now, knowing that she's prepared really hard for this, that she can go on to the Olympics and really do a great job.
Well, Kristi, how do you feel? Do you think skaters are too vulnerable? Were they too exposed? Did you travel with a bodyguard? Are people going to have to do that now?
Well, I've never traveled with a bodyguard, and when you're traveling with a team to foreign countries, you're with the entire U.S. group. You're in you feel pretty safe. So, maybe at the specific event they should have more security, but other than that, we feel pretty safe.
What's the feedback you've been getting on this Discover Card Stars on Ice, Scott, in terms of what happened? Have people been talking to you about it? Do you feel a little bit more vulnerable on the ice?
Everywhere we've gone, there's been just a bank of cameras and reporters, whether we get off the plane and they meet us there, or whether we're practicing before the show. They want our reactions to everything that's been going on. From Phoenix, where we learned about this we had incredible security. Nobody was allowed backstage. They beefed up. Every building was scared that something like this might happen because there was no information on who did it or why or anything else. We all thought it was some sort of psychotic fan that had just gotten into the building and was trying to injure somebody so maybe somebody else could do better, but we had no idea why or who or anything else, and so the building security was tripled, basically. The only city we had trouble in was right after we got to the building, Kansas City, but everywhere else it's been incredible.
Paul Wylie, you're skating with Nancy Kerrigan on Friday night. There are some reports, and there may be rumors at this point, but insiders who know her say she's clearly still a frightened woman.
I don't think so. I mean, not from when I talked to her tonight and when I've talked to her over the last couple of weeks. She seems like she's very determined. She's going to, put her life in order and focus on her Olympics. I think that she's been able to put it behind her as best as anybody could do. I couldn't imagine going out there, but she's a very strong person, and she's got this one shot at the Olympics, and that is this year, and I think that she is going to be as determined as anybody to get there and to skate her best.
Do you think this would make her more determined, perhaps, thinking, hey, I'm not going to waste all of this, and nobody's going to knock me out of competition, and I might even be more focused than usual?
I think it brings it to the fore that, this is her last chance. It makes her remember that. It makes her remember just how important this is to her, and it's a comeback of all comebacks, really, and so for sure she's going to be looking at that as motivation, but mostly I think she's just trying to do a performance out there.
Let me ask all of you, starting with you, Kristi, your perception of Tanya Harding. You've skated against her. She beat you, I believe, in the U.S. Championships, and you beat her in the World Championships in '91. What did you think of her as a person and as a professional, or as a skater?
Well, outside of the rink, I really didn't know Tanya so well. She was a bit more of an outsider than maybe some of the other skaters on the team. But you know, I think we're all very competitive at the World Olympic level. You need to have your own goals in mind and really go after them. But I didn't notice anything more than the usual.
Well, a lot of people have said about you, the insiders say, one of your nicest and most admirable traits, Kristi, is your real concern for other people and consideration. Is Tonya Harding a considerate person, or was this a win-at-all-costs, last shot, she's 23 years old now, if I don't win the gold medal, it's all over type of thing? How do you perceive it?
Well, I can't really speculate what her thoughts were going into this year. I didn't see her very much, and you know, of course, it's an important year, Olympic year, and probably her last time to take part in the Olympic Games.
Paul, Wylie, how well did you know Tonya, or do you know her?
I've traveled with her on teams, and I was on the Olympic team in '92 with her. I don't know her that well, but just as Kristi said, you know, she was a bit of an outsider, especially once she became married to Jeff Gillooly. I think, you know, we would sit on tour, and they would sit in the front of the bus.
Right. Well, now when we look at Lillehammer, and hypothetically, well, right now, both are on the team. Tonya Harding, we must make clear again, has not been accused of anything, has not been charged.
Oh, it's challenging to shoot.
Inside the safe. You know, when Batman and the guard are trapped in the safe, it was really tight corridors.
I've read a lot that you only wanted to do this if Tim Burton wanted you to do it. And after he handed you the reins, how did you decide to make this your own? How did you accomplish that?
I went to the comic books and got hundreds of comic books, and all the great artists since Bob Kane created Batman have contributed so much, so we tried to make a living comic book.
I think you did. Now, Lucas
has seen it.
Lucas, you've seen it. Now, this is quite an outfit. Can you tell us about your outfit?
Well, it's the one Val used, except it's cut down to my size.
The one Tommy Lee
Yeah.
Jones. No, this suit.
Yeah. Oh.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, it's this very talented seamstress named Ursula. Well, she copied the picture of Harvey
Two-Face.
with the suit on it. She made her own version
And
of
he has
it.
a bat suit also.
The ISU has been honing this judging system for a long time and perfecting it. It's always under scrutiny. Every judge is evaluated to their performance in that particular competition, not only by the referee and the assistant referee of the competition, but by the ISU technical committee as well. There's not a lot of fooling around with marks, and it'll be interesting to see. There will be 6 European judges on the panel, most likely. And this is a huge story over here. I'm not sure how big a story this is in Europe. I'm sure it's getting a lot of coverage, but it'll be interesting to see just how people in Europe are going to feel about this. But when they get to the Olympic Games and they skate, the only